Whoops, forgot to unmute the mic. Thank you, Pat. Okay. Um, I was saying hello to everybody. So, hello, Jackie, Duana, Slowing Down Joe, Pat Brewer, Melster, Donna Faye. Good evening, ladies. Sandy Adger came in. Guess who, Nancy? Good evening, Nancy. Around to it, hello. Melina Montoya, good evening. Mary Jane Ellinger, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Forgot to turn on the mic. Okay. Pat, the trip to Utah was awesome. Let me just say that. Very cold, but very, yeah, it was just what I needed. Okay. So I figured since I'm going to be working on these ornaments, I might as well turn on the camera and do a live session since I didn't do a live in quite some time. So this is the ornament that I'll be making tonight, or a version of the ornament. I'm going to be using different fabrics. But this ornament, I actually think that this particular ornament is much, much easier than... where is it? Oh, if you're on the last live session, here is the finished ornament here. Got all the beads and embellishments on and put my little ribbon with the hanger. So, yep, that's it. Now, this ornament takes a long time to do because you're folding various little squares of fabric, whereas on this one, I actually like to make this one a lot more so than the other one, because this one takes not as much time in terms of preparation. Sorry, excuse me for that. So we'll be making this tonight. And this goes by much quicker. Okay. I was just about to try to sleep, then my phone dang, and I seen you're on. Well, thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, this was kind of a unannounced live. I figure if I'm going to be making these ornaments, then I might as well turn on the camera and go live, because I haven't done so since I left for Utah. Okay, so how do we make this ornament? Well, first of all, there's a lot of stuff that I've already prepped, such as this, as well as my template. But let me show you this is my measuring tape. And let me show you how I actually measured this out. Now, this is a 3-inch styrofoam ball. And just like with the other ornaments, you have your equator, which is the center. I don't know if the camera can capture that. There it is. So that's your equator. Here's the North Pole, which is the very top. And South Pole, there's another marking here. So I'm just taking this piece of paper. It's just a regular scratch piece of paper. And I'm just going to line it up right on that equator, going all the way around. And when I make a full circle, I'm going to overlap it just a hair. And then just make sure you pull it tight. Overlap it just a hair, and then I fold it back a little bit. So maybe about 1/8 of an inch overlap there. And at that, wherever I folded that, I'm just going to tear that part off. Okay. So again, I just took a plain strip of paper, put it right on the equator, wrapped it all the way around, overlapped it a little bit here where the two ends meet, kind of folded that and ripped off the excess. And I'm actually going to even trim it down a little bit more. Okay. Basically, you just want to make sure it goes all the way around, and then you got a little bit of overlap. If it's a little short, like right now I just cut it short, that's fine. This is just basically an estimate. Hey Cam. Hi Trish. Well, glad you made it, Trish. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting over a cold, so my voice is a little shaky. Kind of lost my voice the past 2 days. Okay, and I know this was kind of an unannounced live too, so I do apologize for that. But I just kind of decided to, at the last minute, since I'm already working on these ornaments, let's just turn on the camera and go live. Okay, so we measured it, went all the way around, cut off the excess. So now with this piece of paper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. Fold it in half once. Fold it in half again. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then, so again, we took the whole paper, folded in half, fold it in half again, and then fold it in half one more time. Okay, then we unravel it, and wherever the fold marks are, I'm going to take a pen, draw a line. There, 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 then right there, and right there. So I should have 8 sections here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's how I created my measuring tape there. Now, of course, you could use a measuring tape and then do the exact calculation, but I mean, you got to be basically a math genius to do that. So what we're going to do with this is now I'm going to take my measuring tape and just run it right alongside that equator. Now, and what I'm doing is wherever the mark is, I'm going to actually put a marking right on the foam ball. Mark it there. Okay. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're going to be splitting this 3-inch styrofoam ball into 8 different sections here. And so that's what this piece of paper helps us to do. Again, you can do the calculation, you can get a measuring tape, and you can actually try and calculate the exact measurement, but I find that this is way easier to do. And one here at the end. Okay, so I got sectioned off the ball into 8 different sections here. Hey Teresa, thanks for joining. I know this is kind of late and I did a last minute thing. Okay, so now with this, I'm going to take my little piece of paper here. Again, oh wait, here's the north or the top or the north, what I refer to as the North Pole. There's the South Pole here. Where I put the markings, that's my equator line. I'm just basically going to draw a line from the North Pole, connect it to one of the spots here. And you can do this with if you have an actual dressmaker tape measure, you can do that. I just use this, my makeshift. I typically just use this makeshift piece of paper that I used. So went from the marking to the North Pole here, then from the marking to the South Pole there. Okay. Then we're going to do that for all of our points there. So now this does not have to be precise, unlike certain things with quilting. This is rather forgiving, and you can make adjustments afterwards. As long as you got it sectioned off fairly equally, people are not going to notice it. And like there have been times where I sectioned it off really badly, and it still came out fine. So I'm just going to mark it, just continuing the mark, going from the equator to the North Pole, then equator down to the South Pole. Did everyone have a good Thanksgiving? I sure hope so. If you saw the pictures that I put on, I was actually exploring out in southeastern Utah and had a great time out there. It was freezing. It got into about the high 20s or so at night, and then during the day, I think the daytime high was maybe about 40 degrees. So, but I loved it because I love cold weather. And I saw snow for the first time. And people were teasing me for that picture. But yes, I did see snow. Teresa, this is what we're making. So it is with fabric, and I'll be actually tucking in the fabric into these grooves that I'm about to cut with this. And after this part, it goes by really quickly. And last one. Okay, I don't know why I can't line this one up. There we go. Whoa, that one's really crooked. Okay, I'm just going to eyeball this one. And I'm not sure what happened there. But, okay, let's just correct this one. Okay, so I made a mistake with this line, but not to worry. You can just always correct it and then kind of modify it when you need to. So that looks pretty good. Okay. Snowing and power is out. We have the generator on. Ooh. Well, I hope you don't freeze. Okay. So I got a little bit of a razor here. And I'm just going to cut the foam ball about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch deep. And we're cutting it right on the lines that we just drew. Okay. Okay, you can use an X-Acto knife if you got one. I've used box cutters as well. And any kind of blade, sharp blade that can cut through it. Even a knife, like a all-purpose, utility knife, can actually saw through this styrofoam. Okay, just watch it. Just watch it when you cut it. Notice that because I'm right-handed, I hold the styrofoam with the left hand and I cut towards the right. That way, if I do make a jerking move, I'm not going to slice my hand open. Because I've done that a few times making these things, so yeah, not fun. If you've got a wood burner, you could use that too. Just make sure that you run it rather quickly because you don't want to, it'll melt the styrofoam a little too much. I have used wood. Actually, normally when I do this, I do use a wood burner, which makes this part go a lot faster. But you kind of have to run it really quickly because it'll melt the styrofoam really quickly too. So I don't recommend that if you're a beginner, but if you do have one, that is an option. But again, just using a blade or X-Acto knife will work just as well too. Okay, and we're done. Okay, let's see, did I miss any questions? Oh, good night, Nancy. Oh, wow, okay. You've been up since 4 a.m. Yeah, go to bed. Eric, is your family safe from that volcano that's erupting? Kim, I do have some relatives that are within the vicinity. The thing is, though, as of right now, the eruption and the lava flow is not affecting any major town, or it's not approaching any major neighborhood. I do know that they are planning to evacuate some people that live way out in the boonies. But as of right now, it's not affecting any major communities yet. And in fact, what people are actually doing is they're driving towards the volcano just so that they can actually see the lava, which is really is kind of ironic. But it is beautiful at night when the lava is spewing out and you see the orange glow. But no, I don't have family that is in immediate danger. And from what the scientists are telling us, we're not in any immediate danger yet. That's not to say that there won't be, but it's not, they're not expecting it to cause any major, I don't know, evacuation or not, whatnot, because the direction that the lava flow is going, it's not heading towards any major development. So, but thank you for asking. And if you have not heard, one of the largest volcanoes in Hawaii is actually erupting. And it's kind of spewing out a lot of lava. But because the volcanoes actually, I mean, it's one of the largest volcanoes. And the lava flow is actually not not putting any harm, or it's not going towards any major subdevelopment or residential area. So people are excited. They're actually going to the volcano to actually see the lava flow or to see the eruption, which is kind of ironic, but yeah. Okay, so what did I do? This is a artist's palette knife. This is basically what painters, oil painters, or painters, this is what they use to kind of scoop up some paint and mix it. So I do have one of these. If you don't have one of these you can find at basically any craft store. And they're fairly cheap, actually. This one I think I got for less than $1. You can find it at Michael's. You can definitely find it at Hobby Lobby. If you don't have one of these, a spatula will work. A cake decorator spatula will work. They're basically the same thing. Or you could also use an upholstery needle. I've seen people use that. Basically, you just want something thin, something small. And what I was doing was actually going into the, making the cuts that we just did, or that I just did, and just kind of sliding this into that area, or into the cut, just to widen it up a little bit, not by much. And this will make the next step a whole lot easier when you start putting your fabric on there. Okay. So that's what we got. Okay. On our news here, they were talking about the main highway that the lava flow was getting so close to. Yeah, Kim, it is actually approaching one of the highways, but again, there's alternate routes to that highway, in which that's where I think a lot of the news stations are not. They're making it a little bit more dramatic than it really is. Let's just put it that way. There is one particular highway that they're talking about, in which that is the main thoroughfare to go from the west or the east end of the island to the west end. And there's quite a few people that actually travel that particular highway, but that's not the only highway, or that's not the only route that you can go between the west and east. So it's not, I mean, it'll be more of an inconvenience, but it's not going to be, again, it's not life-threatening yet. But they are kind of concerned about that particular highway just in terms of what it'll do for people that need to go from one end of the island to the other end of the island. So they're just warning everyone to be prepared for that if in fact the road closes, which I think they are closing it. Okay, forgot to mention template. So you can, I've made this and I've used this for years. How did I do this? Well, I just took a cereal box and then kind of cut like a strip that was about 2 inches and then made it into kind of an ovular shape. And what I'm going to do is we're going to be cutting fabric, and we're going to lay the fabric on the styrofoam ball like this. And these edges are going to get tucked into all the grooves that you just cut on the styrofoam ball. So here I kind of traced this template or the template shape on the back of this fabric here. So I'm going to just cut it out. And you can use whatever scraps that are big enough that you got. Okay. I just tend to do all of these, or I just tend to use whatever leftover fabrics I got after I do all my Christmas projects. Okay. I'm gonna lay it on top of this here. Okay. You do want to make sure you get about a quarter to a half an inch kind of allowance, meaning that you cut your fabric piece about a 1/4 inch to a half an inch larger than the sections that you cut off the styrofoam ball. So I lay the fabric on there. I'm going to find where that groove is. Where is it? Right there. And then you can start tucking in the fabric. Okay, this one's going to be a little close because, whoa, I did cut it kind of big. And I didn't lay it down correctly, so, okay, if it doesn't work, you can always take it out, lay it back down again. And try it over. Whoops, came out. I think I made this a little too big, or I didn't do my sections quite large enough, but we'll make this work. And we'll tuck that in. Okay, then if you got a little too much excess at the top and the bottom, you can just trim it off. Oh, that piece went flying. Trim that off. And I'll trim this excess off. And I'll just tuck in the rest of that into the groove there. Now, don't worry if the seam looks a little bit jaggedy because, again, we're going to be covering it up with ribbon anyway. Okay. Let's see, did anybody have a question that I missed? Nope. I don't see any questions. Okay. So that's one. Now, what I've also seen other people do is instead of creating a template like this, they will actually just go ahead, take the fabric or take a piece of the fabric and just start tucking it in. You can do that as well without pre-measuring it. That's fine to do. I like to actually pre-measure it because I do find that if you don't pre-measure it, or if you don't want to do the template, you do end up using up a lot more fabric. So what they'll do is they'll start tucking it in, like how I'm doing now. Although it is quicker and faster to do, they'll take their scissors. You can trim off the excess here. But I do find that to be a waste of fabric. A lot of waste. But, you know, you won't have to struggle so much with trying to place that or do an exact placement on the fabric there. So, two ways of doing it. You can either pre-measure it, pre-cut it with the template, or you can just basically kind of grab a scrap piece of fabric, cover it, and then trim away. That choice will be yours. But again, for me, I like to use a template just to pre-measure it out because, again, there's a lot of waste. Like, yeah, this is all waste because I can't use it for anything else at this point. Well, I could try, but we'll see. And then we'll tuck the excess in. Okay, so as you can kind of see, I'm kind of doing every other. Let's see, do I want to use? This time I am going to use my template. And since the last one came out kind of tight, I'm going to go a little wider. Or I don't know if maybe I didn't mark it correctly. Whoop, template fell down. And I'll cut. And cut this. I'm just making it, or actually I'm just cutting it a little bit bigger because the last one for some reason was kind of tight. So let's do this one here. And now it's too big. And we'll trim off the excess there. And we'll trim off this excess there. Hey Brenda, sorry I didn't notice. I haven't, I know people are kind of coming in. I don't know if anybody's asking me questions, but if I missed your question, just put it in the chat again. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the top because that's going to get covered. I just want to make sure that this fabric is well tucked in there. Okay, last one. I'll use this piece here. Oh, where did my template go? And I will cut it. Yep. Okay, so to make one ornament, you don't need, you actually don't need that much fabric. So I'm just basically using, these are scraps left over from our little Christmas quilt along that we did. And again, you don't use that much fabric. So if you have a, let's see, a fat 8, that's more than enough to actually make one ornament. Sorry, assuming that you're going to do the, you're using 2 different fabrics like what I am doing here. If you're using more, then you need even less fabrics or less yards of each fabric. So I'm doing every other little slot there. If you have a fat quarter, I do know that'll probably give you about enough to make a dozen ornaments, perhaps even more. But point being, you don't need a lot of it. You just need, I mean, yeah, you don't need a lot of it. Let's just put it that way. Oh boy, this one's going to have a lot of excess. We'll put this one on. Let's see. I got out the porcelain ornament that I will paint for my grandkids. I need to get them done so they'll have them for Christmas. I never made a porcelain ornament. But then again, I don't have any skill at painting. And I'm putting you on the TV with the timer on. I'm going to let you play while I try to go to sleep. Get better soon because you sound, yeah. Again, my voice is still kind of recovering. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm not going to worry so much about the top because that's going to get covered here as well as the bottom here. I'm just kind of, and I'm going to cover the seams with ribbon anyway, but this is what I got. And I could probably use some of these larger pieces for another ornament, so I'm just going to throw them to the side for now. Do I go blue? Or, let's see. Whoops. Did I get disconnected? Do I go blue or do I go white? What do you guys think? I want to say blue, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I use this blue or should I use the white? And am I still on? Brenda says blue. I do like the blue. But I also kind of like this white. Blue. Okay, 2 votes blue. Let's go blue. Let's go blue. Let's go blue. Okay, where is my template? There it is. So I'm just gonna okay, so there's one. Doesn't help that I put blue on blue. Let's see, how does this come out? Oh, that doesn't even mark because that's a pencil. Let me use the red. The red didn't even mark on this side. Okay, let's try it now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that I can see. 1, 2, 3. And 4. And I will cut. And cut this side. And trim that and trim that there. Okay. Then we'll cut the last 2 so I can just concentrate on putting or just tucking the ornament in. And where is the line for this one? Oh boy. I think it's here somewhere. Oh well. If not, we'll just trim off the excess anyway. There. I'm gonna need to go back and see how you started. What you're using to press in the fabric? Oh, Brenda, this is an artist's palette knife. This is basically the if you go to a craft store and you go into the section that has all the like acrylic paints, oil paints, they call this the painter's. I think it's called a painter's knife, or is it a painter's knife? Anyway, it's basically a spatula that painters will use, and they kind of pick up the paint, they mix it, or this is how they pick up the paint and mix different colors with it. So I'm using this. You could also use a like a cake decorating spatula. That's usually, sometimes they do come in this size. You could use an embroidery needle. I've seen people do that. You could also use I've used embroidery needle, actually. I've also used a butter knife, believe it or not. It was a very, very thin butter knife. So I just find that this tool works best for me, but I do see other people using embroidery needle, or upholstery needle, I should say. Some people prefer that. That works as well. Just basically anything to help you tuck in the fabric here. Again, when I used to use a butter knife, although I do find that the butter knife that I have now is way too thick. I used to have a really thin butter knife that was about as thin as this. So these you can find at your craft store. I also see them at Dollar Tree sometimes. They're very inexpensive. So if you're going to be making a lot of these ornaments, I would definitely suggest using or getting one of these. Whoops. Okay. And I will trim off this excess. There. And we will just tuck in the rest of this fabric, or sneak it in somewhere there. And I will sneak this one in there. Okay, so again, I'm not going to worry about this spot because we're going to be covering it up anyway, as well as the bottom here. I do want to make sure that the fabric's kind of well tucked in there, because you don't want that sliding out. Then we'll do the next one here. Hi, Joni. Thanks for joining us so late. Or I shouldn't say that you're late, but I know I'm kind of on rather late and rather unannounced as well. So, but thank you for joining. And I'm just going to tuck in. I think I can get most of this tucked in so I don't have to trim it. Okay, again, don't worry about the look of the top and or the north and south poles, because you're going to be covering that. Oh, I cut off the point. Oh, I didn't cut the point, that's why. Okay, let me just kind of trim it down a little better. Okay, notice that when I do start tucking in the fabric, I'm actually starting towards right where that equator is, or the middle of the styrofoam ball. That's the widest section. And I work my way towards the two poles. So I'll start in the equator and then go towards, in this case, what I'm calling, I think this is the North Pole, but just kind of going towards the top and the bottom. That's how I will typically tuck in the fabric. And I'll do that because you want to start with the widest section, because you'll notice that the fabric will start kind of sliding left, right, up, and down. And if you start with the widest section, for me at least, it's a lot easier to just kind of start in the middle, and then because I have this tool, I'll start in the middle and then just press my way down towards either one of the sides here. So I do find that to be a lot easier to do. I used to start at the top and then work my way down and then go around the other way, but yeah, that was a lot harder for me to do. So hi, Mona. Thanks for joining tonight. Gosh, it must be like midnight for some of you out there. Or are we all West Coast people? Okay. I got one more to do. The blue is pretty. I think the black areas of the original fabric would look really good also. That actually would look good. Oh, I didn't consider that. Well, thanks for that suggestion. I will have to make another ornament then, just using the black parts. Okay, so again, I'm starting here towards the middle and then just kind of tucking those in and just kind of sliding my tool towards one of the ends, and there we go. Then I'll turn it around, go back the other way. Hope I'm staying in camera. And I just found it to be a lot easier to work the fabric that way. Oh, this one shifted. And I'll cut the excess off of this. And ooh, we've got a lot of excess here. And I'll tuck in the extra there. And tuck that in there. And we'll tuck in the last of this there. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the top, not going to worry about the bottom, because we're going to cover all of that. Just want to make sure that the fabric is not or that it's all tucked in. Then again, we're going to be covering these seams here. I think I may have made this one a little too big. Okay. Denver time, 10:25. It's 11:24 in Missouri, and it's 9:27 here in Southern California. Okay. So this is what we got thus far. Okay. I think, oh, I didn't turn on my, forgot to turn on the hot glue. My hot glue gun. So 9:27 in Idaho. Hey, Teresa, you're in northern Idaho? How far is that from Coeur d'Alene? Okay, I'm just waiting for the hot glue gun to turn on. North Central, okay. I was watching a video of some traveler who went to Idaho, into this town called God, it's a French name. Coeur d'Alene. Anyway, it got me interested into saying, oh, I want to go there. Because it's beautiful. And now that I'm on this exploration trip, I just want to see the different parts of the country. And I'm kind of an oddball because I have no interest in going into some of the major cities. But I would love to visit some of the smaller cities, the unknown ones. So I guess I'll use this white. And I'm just, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Or should I go with the red, like this one? Although I don't know where the red ribbon is. Nah, let's just go with the white. Or maybe, no, that's, nope, not that one. Okay. You said it right the first time. Coeur d'Alene. Okay. It is Coeur d'Alene. Okay. So, or maybe I can use this. Okay. Basically, I'm just trying to find something. Ribbon. You can use cord. You can use whatever this thing is called. I found this at Michael's. I could also use this. Now, one of the big reasons why I like to use ribbon is if I didn't cut the styrofoam very well, like some of these edges are really jaggedy. And so that's where using a ribbon, that'll hide most of it. If you use a thin cord such as this, it's actually not going to hide it. It's going to accentuate it. So you'll notice it more if you use something thin. Now, I could use a thicker cord here, in which that'll work. But I don't like the look of that, so I think I'm just going to go with this. 235 miles north of me. Wow. Okay, so it's way up there in the north. What size ribbon is this? This is a 5mm? Oh no, 3/16. Yep, 5mm. So this is a 3/16 inch wide ribbon. And I am just gonna, yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, it is beautiful up there, Katie. I saw the pictures of it and I was like, oh, I'm jealous. I want to visit there. So I'm just running some hot glue right on the seam. And I'm going to use this ribbon just to kind of place it down, and we're covering up the seam there. Sorry, I know I was out of camera. Okay. If you got decorative pins, you could also, instead of using a hot glue gun, you could actually pin the ribbon on there. I have done that in the past. I don't think I have any pins, which is why I'm just hot gluing it for now. And I'm just going to continue on. Yeah, sometimes I'll pin this instead, just to give a little bit more of a decorative element to it, I guess. There. Then I can cut that off. Then we'll start with the next one. So we'll go from there. So is everyone done with all their Christmas projects? Are you done with your Christmas shopping? I still got a ways to go. It's beautiful. You could fly into Spokane, get a car, and drive there. It's not that far from Spokane, Washington. Oh. Is it really that far north? Oh, I thought it was more... Actually, I thought it was in the southern part of Idaho. All I know is it's beautiful there. From the images that I saw, the pictures that I saw, the videos that I saw, it's all beautiful. So add that to my bucket list of places to explore. And that bucket list is growing exponentially. Cut it there. Then we'll start down this one. Oh, not even close. Okay. Southern Idaho is dry like a desert. Oh, I didn't know that. I guess it's kind of like California, because I know the northern part of California is lush with a lot of forests, and Southern California is dry like a desert. Actually, it is desert. What am I talking about? Ow, got glue on my hand or on my thumb there. Ouch. Please tell me I have enough. Yep, you do. Webbies. And I'll put that right there. Put a dot right there. Okay, and now instead of cutting it, I'm just going to continue on down this last one here. There we go. Okay, let me hold on a second there because I need to insert a new glue stick. There we go. Then we can and one last dollop of glue right there. Then I can trim it off. So there, you can kind of see it better. So, oh, didn't glue that one straight, but that's okay. No one said that I was straight. Did I just say that out loud? Yes, I did. And I forget we're on live. Eastern Idaho is not too bad. It's green because of the Rockies, but southwest is pretty dry. It's because it's close to, what is it, Utah. Hey, Vicky. Okay, so the ribbon kind of, again, because I used well, it's not the thickest ribbon, but because the ribbon's a little wider than, say, something like this, which is about 1 millimeter, or this is actually very thin, it did a pretty good job in terms of covering the seams. I didn't, when I was cutting this particular styrofoam ball, I didn't cut it very well. That was probably because I wasn't paying attention too much to how I was cutting it, but notice it does a pretty good job anyway. And even if your sections are not even, like this blue section here is way smaller than some of these other sections here, it still looks okay. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, then what else can we embellish with? Let's see, I got some beads. I know I have that. Let me just kind of get all this glue out of the way here. Where's my bead case? Where is my bead case? I know I did have it here somewhere. Okay, so let's see what we got in here. Oh, ooh, forgot I had this. Let's see. We'll play around with some beadwork here. We got a touch of blue. I got this humongous one here. Let's see. I could do... I'll keep it simple. Sometimes I do a very elaborate bead design. Just depends on who the ornament is for. Well, thank you, Vicky. Let's see, I got that. There it is. Found this. Okay, so I've got my container of pins here. Okay, I think these are a little over an inch long pins. Get my thimble. And then I could do something. Oops, no, the hole's too big there, so I'm gonna need a little bit of a seed bead. I know I have one here. Yep, that'll do it. And trying to feel for where that center is or where that equator mark is. I can put this right on there. That just looks weird. Well, let's continue on with it. See how it actually turns out. If I don't like it, I can always pull it out. So where is the center? I think the hole is pretty big on that one. Where's the tiny one? There it is. Oh, even that one's big. Wow. Where is my little seed bead? With the little stopper. There you are. Okay. Now this is one of those things where, I mean, in terms of embellishing all of this, you can go as decorative as you want, or you can go as simple as you want. It's really totally up to you. And I can't get a seed bead, or I can't get one of these to stick on there. Most of the holes are drilled a little too big. Let's see if this will work. Yep, that'll work. Then I can put this one? So again, just kind of feeling for where that equator was. Maybe I'll go every other. Where is that equator? Right there. Nah, I'm not liking that. I don't know. I actually didn't put that one in straight in there. That looks a little weird. I don't know. What do you guys think? That just looks weird to me. Maybe I won't put any beads on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just give it a try. If it doesn't work, no harm done. Well, I guess we all can't be straight. Some of us are round or even square. I tend to mostly be round. You guys are too much. I don't know. I'm going to play around with this. Maybe I will do something decorative with all these beads, but I'm not really liking it just like that. Maybe if I put it together. Oh, well, they're also different sizes too. Duh. Well, I'll play around with that. I'm in shape. Round is a shape. It is definitely a shape. Hey, Jim. If I die, the chalk line is either going to be a circle or it will look like Frosty melted. Oh, you guys are too much. Okay. Well, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to embellish this later, but at least I want to get a bow on there, so let's do that. Okay, found my red ribbon. And okay, and I got a pearl head pin that I'm going to use. And I do nothing fancy with this. Just go one. Let's see, how big of a bow do I want to make this? Let's just go there. Whoops. Sorry, I just realized I was not in camera. Is that big enough? Yeah, that's a good size. And so once I figure out what my loop is, or how big my loop is going to be, I will mimic that. And all I'm doing is making a loop, twisting it, and putting the pin right through it. And even if the loop is not like exactly the same size, as long as it's somewhat the same size, it'll be fine. Okay, there's all sorts of techniques into how to make a decorative bow. Whoops. This is just how I do it. Oh, too big. So right about there. Oh, that's still too big. How about that? And that's a little better. So I'll loop it. Whoop. Why does it keep going to the edge there? There we go. And loop it. Yeah, loop that. And I just realized my ribbon's upside down. Oh well. That's okay. It'll still come out nice. Good night, Joni. Thanks for joining us. What about white beads with a little blue bead on top? That's a thought. Let's try that. Why is this so difficult? It's usually not this hard. Okay. I realized that I have my ribbon, or I was turning the ribbon upside down, so I'm going to take the pin out and put it in this way, and voila. Problem solved. Then I'm going to cut it like that. And I'll weave that in there so that I can actually make the hanger. Put that on. Oh wait, what did I do? I poked it through. Didn't mean to do that. And I will pull it. Like that. Right there. And can weave that through there. Okay, this is one of the saddest looking bows, but we can fluff it out later. Pull the hanger through. Let's just see how this looks all together. The bow's looking a little sad. Okay, we'll fluff it up a little bit. Well, hello, Miss T. I forgot you're a late night person too. Let's see. I like that way of making the bow. I need to do that with the balls I've made so far. You know, with this style of bow making, I mean, it's not perfect, but for some reason it works. And then, let's see, I still got my hot glue gun on. So I'm going to pull up this pin just a little bit. Then I'm going to sneak some, or put some glue right there. I know you guys can't see that, but I just pulled the pin out a little bit, put a drop of glue right there, and I'm going to smash it down just to give it a little bit more strength and security there. Then I can start kind of, it'll also put the ribbon in place. I like the late lives. Okay, Jim. Okay, yeah, this bow's looking a little sad. So let's see what else I can fill in. Okay, let me see if this greenery will help. Got my wire cutters here. Actually, I don't even know if these are wire cutters. I think these are actually plant cutters, but I just use it to cut wire anyway. Hey, whatever works, right? Let's see, can I twist this off? Oh, come on. I just want the individual pieces. Oh, she's quilting. Are you long-arming, T? Or are you sewing? Or are you doing patchwork? You're probably doing some piecing. Let's see, I can kind of trim this down a little bit. I just want a little sliver just to poke out there. Does that work? I actually should have put the... Maybe I should have actually put the greenery down first and then put the ribbon on. No, we'll use that for something else because that's not going to work. Okay, let's see. I've got these bells. Yeah. I'll use that. Maybe I can actually use that too. Yeah, that'll be better. Whoop. Sorry. Hang on a second. Let me plug in the battery. Whoop. Why is it that this plug is not going in? Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Let's fix our camera. Okay, how long have we been on? Oh, hour and a half. And I'm just gonna place the bell right there. And then I'll do one more on this end. And that one just fell down. Whoops. Okay, that looks a little better. And I can actually take this one, take the glue off of there. And let's put this one smack dab right there in the center. You know, one of the tricks I've learned over the years is if your bow doesn't look good, stuff something in there and then it'll actually make it look better sometimes. Well, most of the time. Like how I did with these bells here. And why does that one keep coming off? Okay, that looks a little better. And I gotta re-glue this one. This one keeps coming off. I'll hold that there for a second. Everyone getting teeth fixed for holidays using up HSA before year end. Speaking of which, I need to make an appointment with my dentist. Okay, and so that. There we go. That looks a little better. Of course, if I actually took the time to make a better bow, it would look better. What do you guys think? Weird question, Eric. What is the brand name of your glue gun? If you can read that. That's the Sure Bonder. I bought this at Hobby Lobby. You can also find it at Michael's. It is a wireless glue gun. Basically, here's the charging station or the base. And every time I put it on here, it just basically kind of charges up the gun. I could leave it off for quite some time. I think the gun will stay hot for about a minute or so, in which then you do have to put it back on the base to let it reheat. Okay, but this is the Sure Bonder. Find it at Hobby Lobby. I think you can find it at Michael's too. I think I bought this one at Hobby Lobby, but I have seen it on Amazon as well. And interestingly enough, you can also find it at some hardware stores. They do have like those industrial strength glue guns, in which sometimes they will carry this brand. Okay. I wanted to actually find a wireless or cordless, I should say, glue gun, just because I didn't like the cord kind of flailing around on me. You're so fancy, I need that glue gun. Yay, Teresa has her power back on. Amazon will be the only place I may get one up here. Shopping sucks here. Oh, I'm sorry, Vicky. But yeah, if you could actually find this, or actually any wireless or cordless glue gun, I should say. I mean, to me, it's been a heaven sent because I don't have to mess with the cord while I'm working. Then, of course, it does come with the stand. Okay, so this is the ornament. That's what I'm gonna just do for tonight. I might do some beadwork on here, but you know, this is basically the basis or the foundation of it. And yep, or actually the camera's up so you can't really see it, but yep. So these bells I did pick up at the dollar store, and I use a lot of them because when I don't make my bow, or when my bow doesn't come out very pretty, I'll stuff something inside there or tuck some of the Like, for example, these bells, I'll tuck it in. And for whatever reason, you know, it makes the bow look better. Which is why I was trying to use this greenery, but that wasn't going to work. So, yeah, little trick there that I've learned. Okay, so that's the ornament for tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I might still want to do a little beadwork on there. We'll see. Okay. Heat is really good in the winter. Yes, it is. It's not good in the summer. Well, thank you, Vicky. And it's pretty. Love it. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, so, yeah. Love. Thank you, Brenda. Okay, so that's my ornament for tonight. Now, if you notice the title of this video, it says 12, what did I call it? 12 days of makes. So the plan is that I will be going on live for the next 12 days. And we'll be making some kind of Christmas project, either an ornament of some sort, maybe a stocking, I don't know. We'll see what we'll be making. But for the next 12 days or 12 nights, I will be coming on live more later than earlier. So I think the latest I'll go on is about 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I do know that Becca goes on. I do know that Becca goes on on Friday night, so I'll try and start after her out of respect. And I know that T is also going on. She usually goes on Saturday, so I'll go on after her. But yeah, I'll just be popping on live doing some kind of a project for the next 12 days. Maybe more. We'll see. But for the most part, it's going to be kind of unannounced. So just make sure you do have your notification bell selected so that it'll YouTube will tell you that I'm on live. Sorry. I do my ironing on cold days, otherwise the heat bothers me. Ooh, that's a good idea, Jim. I can't believe I'm awake at 1:15 a.m. here. Brenda, what are you doing up? You night owl, you. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Again, for the next 12 days, I'll be doing some late night lives and doing a project, maybe an ornament, or some type of project, Christmas related, of course. But this is the ornament for tonight. Kind of cute. Hopefully my voice will be recovered. This was another one that I was making. And then we already did this one on a live. Maybe we can do this one tomorrow night. We'll see. Or one like this tomorrow night. I call this my Charlie Brown ornament because, you know, the chevron pattern always reminds me of Charlie Brown. Oh, okay. This is another similar one. Got another star. I call this one the tomato ornament because it's red and green. Just looks like a tomato. So yeah, I got a whole bag full of them. Some of them are actually left over from prior years, but I'm kind of giving these away as gifts. So I'm making a whole bunch of these. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. For some of you, very, very late at night. And I shall see you guys tomorrow night. Take care.